Hi, Dr. Michael Cotton again. I have no doubt that you are more than a little curious about what you just heard and saw on the last video. Want to know more? Okay, I'll explain, and I'm going to also do another live demonstration. So we know that we have untapped potential in our higher brain. We all know this. And I'll bet that if you're watching this video series, you're also aware that we have an untapped energy source in our body. This energy source has been called a variety of things, everything from prana to chi to ki to kundalini to subtle energy. It's been known for a long, long time. And I'll also guess that you've heard of pathways in the body that have been known for thousands of years, called Nadi points in yoga practices or meridians in traditional Chinese medicine. A variety of different names have been given to these pathways. And we know that these pathways have special properties, and in some cases can be accessed in ways that create positive change in the human body and mind. Now, here's the thing. We've looked at these pathways and this hidden energy scientifically. And we now know that these pathways are what's called piezoelectric. That means that they release energy if they're contacted, stretched, or compressed in just the right way, in just the right sequences. So after years of research and development, I've developed a new protocol that specifically directs this release of energy into the higher brain. And when this happens, the higher brain starts to wake up and it starts to create its own latent feedback mechanism. It starts to engage itself to pump more energy up to itself. Remember, there's an untapped part of the higher brain and an untapped energy source that can wake it up. So the movements of breath that you see during the demonstration actually feel like something is gently breathing you, and it's increasing metabolism in your higher brain. We've even been able to measure this in clients, measure the EEG response, and it feels amazing. And you can even stop the movement if you want to, but you won't want to because it feels amazing. So later in the process, as a client continues to move through this 22-step program, a larger wave engages that releases lower brain stress. The lower brain junk starts to clear out of your body, and then out of your mind, and then out of your life. It's releasing the old, lower, habituated patterns, those stuck loops, and it's allowing the breath to then move more freely up to metabolize that higher part of the brain. And as this is happening, the recipient, the client, starts to feel more clarity, more joy, more focus. It's consistent, powerful, and repeatable. The movement that you see is not a trance or hypnotic state. In fact, you're fully aware, fully conscious that it's happening. And you could even stop it, but you don't want to because it feels so amazing. And now one of my advanced higher brain living facilitators is going to do a demonstration for you. This is one of my advanced facilitators, Juliana Renner, and Juliana is going to do a live demonstration on one of her clients. Juliana actually owns a center, a higher brain living center in St. Louis. So are you ready, Juliana?
I'm ready. So as a facilitator, what I'm looking for before I start making contacts is where the breath is. And if you can see where Herb's breath is, I can visually see movement in through this area. This is what we want to see change and shift. And when this shifts, I know energy is flooding into the prefrontal cortex, and the prefrontal cortex is saying, I need more oxygen, and it starts the salutogenic breath. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear it. And now how you see the shift. in that breath. Energy surging into the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is energized. It's wanting more oxygen. So it's having the body breathe that salutogenic breath. This is all natural, it's all organic. It feels good. The body in this particular moment, as it's going through its movement, is releasing physical stressors. This is important. As more physical stressors are released, more energy can flood that prefrontal cortex. And you can hear the breath. There's freedom in this movement. There's freedom through the whole body. There's freedom being expressed through the whole neurology, releasing stressors. Now, even though Herb has changed positions, that breath is still moving through him. All natural, all organic. The energy is moving, the breath is moving, the prefrontal cortex is engaged. He's in a moment.
It's all natural. Once you start breathing, you just feel like you want more. And then it becomes, you just feel like whatever's comfortable and whatever comes to you. So it's not something that you're forced to do. It's not something that you watch a video and say, oh, I need to do that. It's just what comes naturally. Yeah, it'll leave you feeling a sense of serenity like none other I've known. I've been meditating throughout the years, but this takes it to another level. And then you can transcribe it into regular life, everyday life. And that's what I find really beneficial.
As I mentioned earlier, I went on a 3-decade search, and what I found was a path dating back 5,000 years ago that provided some of the knowledge of what you saw on the table. In fact, there were ancient disciplines that referred to some of the contact points we make, particularly this upper one, as the mouth of God. That was actually a term used in some Eastern wisdom traditions. I saw where Taoist philosophers and Taoist healers referred to this similar contact point as the jade pillow, and they even talked about breath changes thousands of years ago from contacting this area. We also know, for instance, ancient yoga practices referred to some of these lower contact points as some of the lower chakras in the human body. And all of these disciplines talked about either breath changes or waves of energy in the body. More recently, phenomena such as NSA care and some energy work practices have seen similar changes in the human body. However, as you'll soon discover, or continue to discover, through this series, that the consistency and speed with which this happens through higher brain living, as well as the application of this higher brain living energy to a new mapping strategy, a new system to apply this to your life, is completely unique to higher brain living, and it leads to unparalleled and rapid transformation. I believe this is the culmination. I believe that higher brain living is the culmination of a personal transformation system that's origins are 5,000 years old and that have now been accelerated light years into what can be our new future. I have another video that's been created for you in this series. Welcome to the revolution, and I can't wait to have you join our community.